Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Love Experience Show. This is going to be another great episode with another great guest. And I'm really excited about this episode. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear her story. So, before we get into all of that, let me introduce myself. My name is Ashley J. I am your host. I am the owner and founder of It's Ashley J's relationship and dating coach, and a lot of other things that I have not put out there just yet, but y'all stay tuned because it's coming. Don't forget to show your support for the show, the Love Experience Show, by going to my website, it's Ashley J's, and going ahead and ordering your gear, your Love Experience Show gear. Show your support, y'all. I got some cute shirts out there. Y'all go ahead and support that. Okay. Let's see what else. You know how I like to do it. I love for you guys to light the chat up. Please get the chats popping so that we can feel like you're listening to us. And if you have questions, you can get those questions in. And last 15 minutes of the show, we'll go ahead and read the questions and comments that you guys have. So, Sonia, how are you?
Oh, someone does.
Can you hear me? Okay, there you go.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? You still
Can you
can't?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You still can't
Okay,
hear me?
your volume is distorted. And even in your intro, I don't know if it was for the people, but for me, it was like wah wah wah. I didn't understand anything you said.
Really? Okay. If you guys are watching, can you go ahead? Let me know if because I might have to disconnect. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's still doing it.
Okay. They're saying they hear me. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening. Do
That's
you
so
want to?
weird because before we started, I heard you just fine.
I don't know. Okay, let me. I'm a. Okay, everybody's saying they can hear me. All right. This is what happens when you got technology, y'all.
I don't know what you're saying. Sorry.
Okay. Check. Okay. Everybody's saying they can hear me.
Do we
All
want to
right.
start over? Because I don't know what to do. Like I can hear you, but it's not clear.
Okay. I just Instagram. Check your Instagram.
Huh?
Okay. Check
Is
your Instagram.
anybody logged on that can confirm that they can hear you? They can understand you clearly?
Yeah.
um that's weird because I can't.
Okay. Uh go
This must
into
be gonna be real good because for real, it must be gonna be real good because I heard you before we went live without a problem, and now you sound like wah wah wah, like even worse than Charlie Brown's teacher. Like
oh
I
my
have no idea.
gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. They hear us both.
Unmute. Gosh, Ashley, I don't know what to do. Can the people hear me good?
Yeah.
That's not altogether helpful. We can't have a dialogue if I can't understand you.
Okay, y'all bear with us while we try to figure this out, okay? Y'all bear with us. Um
Okay.
I don't know what to okay. I'll try this. We're gonna figure this out, y'all. In the meantime, go ahead and tell me what has been your favorite episode. No, don't do that because I don't want nobody to feel bad.
Let me see. Let me try something else. I have no idea why it's not working.
Okay.
I just turned off my Facebook to see if that would help.
Okay, so can you hear me
Oh,
now?
nope. That didn't help. I'm still getting the weird language. Um and I don't understand because before we went live, we were talking.
Right. Hey y'all, we're gonna get started in a second, okay? Please bear with us. We're having some technical issues. Please bear with us. Um, I don't know what else to tell you to do.
Okay, they can hear the both of us. Okay, so I'm gonna go on. We just gonna go for it. I don't know what's up. Devil,
Okay.
you a lie. We just gonna move forward because 5 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, Ashley and us, we were having a great conversation, and now I have no idea what she's saying, but it's all good. I am Sonia Rowland. I am a wife and a mother. I work at a private school. I love Jesus. That is probably my best resume, that I love Jesus and I love my family. So I have a blog and a podcast, and I just recently reacclimated myself to Clubhouse. Coffee with My King. It's Coffee with a K. And what it is, I am all about security, identity, and purpose, and helping people, especially women, push into that. I believe that the area that the enemy fights us the most is the area that we're supposed to dominate. And so for years, that has been his tussle with me, from childhood: security, identity,
Mhm.
purpose. And so, if you don't know who you are, you can't know what you are. And so that was a struggle for me for many years. And so when the Lord just, as a matter of fact, it was April 2017, I believe, middle of the night. My house was quiet, everybody was asleep, and I just really felt compelled. And I wasn't even that familiar with Facebook, wasn't that good at it, whatever, was really new to it. But I created a Facebook blog, and just for words of encouragement and inspiration. And in the middle of the night, it was around, I think it was like Resurrection Sunday weekend. So and ever since then, and so I'd be real sporadic with posting. But when COVID hit, things changed. I think things changed for a lot of people when COVID hit. And so anyway, it's Coffee with a K, because coffee, as we know it, is a stimulator. It wakes, it keeps us up. At least it's designed that way. And Coffee with a K is designed to stimulate us to the things of God, your security, your identity, your purpose in Him. And so a lot of what I share and post or do a reel on Instagram about will be centered around that. And yeah, and so the website is coffeewithmyking.com. And again, the Facebook page and Clubhouse is Coffee Chat with Coffee with My King. Basically, it's a coffee chat. It's the coffee with a K, because we're stirring one another up, right?
Mhm.
To the things of God, to love, to good works and love, according to Hebrews. And so that's who I am and what I do. And so I'm trying to be more consistent with it, and really thrust forward in what God has called me to be. And so yeah, that's who I am. Coffee with My King.
Okay.
So keep going. You want me to keep going? Okay. So I am here to share my love experience. I understand that this is where you come to talk about love. This is where you come to share your experience. And so listen, my experience, let me preface it this way. When I look at, if you know Bible, Okay, I know that this is not Bible study, but I'm a Bible girl and I'm going to talk about Jesus. I'm going to talk about God. And so when I look at scripture, the one person I'm for the underdog. I am for the one the least likely to succeed. I'm for the one least likely to be nominated. I'm for the one I'm for the misses, the misunderstood, the misrepresented, the mistreated, the mistaken, the misappropriated. I'm for the misses. That's who I'm for. And so when I look at scripture, I see Leah, and people dog Leah. They talk about Leah, but Leah is my girl. You will find her story in Genesis 29. Don't play with Leah. Sarah Jakes Roberts has Eve. I got Leah. She got Eve back. I got Leah back because I love some Leah. And so Leah was a girl who was the oldest and to Laban, and she should have been, because in that culture, the oldest gets married first. And she had a younger sister, and Leah was considered not so pretty. The Bible even says she had a weak eye. Yeah. And if you study that, and back in those times, it may have been like an eye disorder, like conjunctivitis or something like that. But you'll hear people talk about, oh, cross-eyed Leah, or weak-eyed Leah, whatever. I'm like, don't do Leah like that. But anyway, so she was the oldest, and the oldest is supposed to get married first. But Jacob didn't want her. Jacob wanted her sister. Rachel. Jacob wanted Rachel. And so when I think of Leah, I think of Unrequited Love. I think of the one, she loved him, she, but he didn't love her. He didn't love her back. And so she would do, which in that culture, having a child, especially a male child, that was the thing. Like, you're shamed in a sense if you can't have children, or if you don't, especially have a man child. And so she figured, and this is where I really connect with her. If I give him what he wants, he'll give me what I need. And so she gives him baby after baby after baby. And how many know baby don't make him stay? A baby doesn't make him want you anymore. A baby doesn't change the situation. Either he's going to want you or he's not. Okay. Yeah. And so she gives him baby after baby. She had like 3 boys by him. And then she gets it and she names each one after her situation. Oh, my husband will see me. Oh, my husband will hear me. Oh, my husband will be attached to me. And then she gets to the 4th one and she's like, you know what? Now I'm going to praise the Lord. She names him Judah. Judah means praise. So she shifts her focus. And so for me, now let's talk about me. That's Leah's love experience. And that ain't even all of her story. I'm going to probably have to do a study on that some more and really teach that. But because I love her story. But for me, I didn't grow up knowing who my father was. So I didn't have daddy love. I didn't have daddy lap, daddy kisses, daddy dances, right? It wasn't until I was about 17 when and it really didn't matter, to be honest. Like, I wasn't like, mama, you got to tell me, Nana, you got to tell, like, it was like, whatever, it's okay. Cause I had Nana, like Nana, and that's really all I needed. At least I thought. Okay. And so, so I didn't grow up knowing who my natural father was. But how many know that leads to a whole bunch of daddy issues that you don't even connect. And really, when you get older, you don't really connect it back to the young child, to the inner, the girl in you, the child in you, the little girl in you. You don't connect it to that. But it's so important for a girl to have daddy in her life. I am a product of that, people. So when I say, and I know moms can do it, we can hold it down. I don't need a man that, girl power, and I'm for it. But at the same time, it is very important for a girl to have her daddy, at least in my experience and working out of school and seeing these young, I'm telling you, it's significant. Okay. And so growing up without daddy, I, of course, looked for love and affirmation in the wrong places. And so, whereas Leah was, okay, she was married to him, right? But I wasn't married. So, but still, so I started at a young age. I'll say it that way because we may have some young years. I started at a young age. And so, basically, it got to the point, I was probably around 16, maybe. It might have been before then. I think it was before then. Well, if I have a baby, then I'll have someone to love me. because they
Mhm.
weren't loving me. They weren't right. Again, Leah loved Jacob. She baby after baby after baby. So if I have a baby, then I'll have someone to love me. And that was backfiring, of course. First of all, what are you doing? What are you doing, Sonia? Right? And so finally at 16, I did get pregnant. And but by now I've kind of switched. I've kind of changed my focus a little bit. I'm still not where I need to be in God because I didn't grow up in a believing home. I didn't grow up a believer. And so I knew there was something more, but I didn't know what. I didn't have that relationship. I didn't have anyone training me up in the way that I should go. I didn't have that. And so
Mhm.
that's where all those other of course, the bad decisions were coming to. So I didn't have Father God and I didn't have my dad. I didn't have daddy. And so, anyway, 16 by now, I'm like, well, I have too much because I was a smart kid, truth be told. I mean, honor society, could have went to any college I wanted to, had like aspirations, had plans, was a sharp kid, didn't really get in any trouble, except it was like the inner thing, the inner girl that was the bad girl. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I wasn't like giving my nan a hard time. I wasn't a bad kid. And so I was pretty much left to myself. And the Bible even says a child left to themselves brings ruin. And so there were certain aspects of my life that got ruined because I was quote unquote left to myself. Okay. And so anyway, got pregnant at 16 and decided I don't want this. I don't want this anymore. You know, I thought I did, but I don't. And so I was still with Nana. My mom was in the South. I was up in Boston. I was born and raised in Boston.
Okay.
And so I said, I'm going to have a brilliant idea and get an abortion because I thought that would, a baby at this point is going to hinder me. It's going to stop me. It's going to get in the way. And so that was my brilliant idea. I had a cousin try to talk me out of it, but I was like, this is what I want to do. So move forward with that. And then things just kind of went from there. Just relationship after relationship, looking for love in the wrong space and wanting the affirmation, wanting everything. See, if daddy would have been there, right, to
Mhm.
affirm and to know and to let me know who I am, then I wouldn't been in the perfect context, right? I wouldn't have been searching for that kind of love and that kind of attention and that kind of affection. And so anyway, fast forward, I finally get to the place where I got to get my life together. So I moved from Boston to Georgia. Just left my job. My job was like downgrading. I didn't have to leave. I took the downgrade, got the severance pay, packed up all my stuff, put it in a U-Haul, moved to Georgia. Um, Cried for the first couple of months because I was trying to figure out what am I doing here. And
How
so if you're gonna say something, you gotta put it in the chat because I'm gonna be
okay.
able to hear you. This is so bananas. But anyway, so I packed up
How
my stuff. I moved to
mhm.
Georgia. I'm in a small town, so I go from a big city to a small town. I lived there for about a year. Went back to college. Now remember, so I was about uh,
I asked her how old she
early
was when she moved to
20s, early
Georgia.
20s, early
Okay.
20s. By the time yeah. So from 16 to early 20s, it's just relationship after relationship, dude after dude.
Okay.
Um, that again, I'm searching for something, but I'm not the one that they want. And so again, and I when I share my story, I often will say that if I give them what they want, they'll give me what I need. And I believe oftentimes that's where young girls and women we get ourselves caught up. We think, well, if I just be this for him, then he'll be that for me. If I take care of his need, then he'll take care of my need. Or if I take care of his want, then he'll take care of my desire. And so but that's not going to be the case. So what made me change my mind pretty much because now I'm on track with understanding no, I'm really smart and I want to go to college. And I thought in my little brain that was still developing, I'm thinking a baby's going to interfere with that. Listen,
Okay.
what led me to salvation was that and
Okay.
the grief and the regret from that whole scenario.
Okay.
And not growing up with the dad in that whole scenario, what led me to Christ was understanding that God is my father.
Okay.
That's why I gave my life to him, because everything that happened in my life up to that point really just culminated when I got in that church and stood at the altar. And it's
Okay.
like everything that I didn't have and didn't, and again the grief and the regret and the pain, because an abortion, it's an inner thing. It's not, listen, again, I know this is not Bible study, y'all, but this is who I am. The Bible talks about how fornication, which is sex outside of marriage, fornication, well, first of all sin is sin outside of the body. Fornication is sin against your own body. And the thing about it is, when you say sin against your own body, what do you mean? Well, because unwanted pregnancies,
Mm.
sexually transmitted diseases, these are the things that attack you when you have sex outside of marriage. When you do, sex is fine, sex is great, a love experience is great, a fire is good, but a fire is good in the fireplace. If I take that same fire and put it in the middle of the living room, I'm going to burn the whole house down. So in the context of where it belongs, that's where it needs to belong. So I was put in set, and listen, this is not a judgment call, y'all. Please hear my heart. I'm not throwing the rock and hiding my hand, because I told y'all I gave y'all my story. So I started the fire way too soon. Way too soon. Way too soon. There's a time and a space for everything. And we gotta let kids be kids. And no, like I said, I was a good girl. So Nana didn't have to check up on me, because I wasn't the rowdy type. I wasn't the disrespectful type. I wasn't like staying out late and doing all crazy stuff. She probably doesn't even know half of the stuff I did. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
it's I was the quiet girl. I was a girl, and my mom would tease my husband even now. It's like, Sonya was a good girl. She didn't have to get spankings. And he's like, that's your problem now. We turned it into a joke. But seriously, it's like they didn't have to chasing me because they thought I was a good girl. But a good girl who was broken on the inside, and she didn't even know she was broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she's trying to find something, and she don't even know what she's looking for.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
so that's why I changed my mind, because it was like when it's like, okay, I'm pretty sharp and I can go to school for hotel restaurant management, and I got stuff that I can do, and I'm visiting colleges and all that. And it's like, okay, but that plan, see, we think we have a plan and God has another plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just going to jump ahead and say, I didn't get that degree that I so-called wanted when I thought a baby was going to interfere with it. I didn't get it until I was pregnant with my second child. I walked the stage pregnant with Mana.
Wow.
Why? Because God will not be mocked. I thought I had a plan and I'm going to do it this way. And it's like, no, you're not going to do it that way. So yeah, I can figure that part out. I was like, okay, so let me go back. So 20 something, I moved to Georgia. I'm here. I'm trying to get my life together, get my life in order. I'm like, but the clock is ticking. I'm 20 something now, and it's like, what am I doing with my life? So I'm in Statesboro for a year. Went to college just to basically kill time, have something to do, not be bored, or not be getting in trouble, whatever. That was too small of a town as compared to Boston. And so I have family that lived here in Augusta, so I moved to Augusta.
Okay.
And things really started shifting. Well, before I left Statesboro, I started going to church. I had a cousin who invited me to church, and she's like, come with me. I'm like, I don't know, because that I didn't grow up that way. So I go, but we would be in the club Saturday night and church Sunday morning. It was like, okay, this is what I do. And after a while, that got old. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't do this anymore, because the Spirit of God would convict me. So no one had
Mm-hmm.
to say anything to me. My pastors at the time, they hadn't said anything to me. Holy Spirit convicted me.
Yeah.
And so then I moved to Augusta. I met my husband in church. I started
Mm-hmm.
attending the church here. I met him in church. At first, I kind of was like, nah, I ain't feeling this. And mainly it was because I knew that I had been such a mess and I didn't want to mess him up. Now
Okay.
he tells the story a little different. He makes it seem like I dissed him and all this. And honestly, I did, but I was trying to protect him.
Okay.
Honestly, actually, I was trying to protect him from me. I felt like that I was tainted and I was a mess. And, I had daddy issues and I didn't want to put that all on him. And
Okay.
so in the beginning, I was like, nah, bro, don't like me. Don't want to
Mm.
be with me. And so finally, I found out later, he prayed basically for God to intervene. Um, I finally came around and prayed and said, God, if he's the one, change my heart. Because by this time, I'm really trying to be on the straight and narrow. Like, we did not become intimate until we got married. So this time I got it right.
Good for
Yeah,
you.
and we dated for a year. And I know that may sound crazy, but ladies, can I tell you, when you meet the one that you believe is the one, you have to trust. First of all, if you really believe he's the one, then you have to trust God that he's going to be able to satisfy everything that's in you. And
Absolutely.
I honestly had to trust that. Like, I probably let him hold me a little too tight a couple of times, but we did not consummate our marriage until we didn't have sex until we got married, and we
That is
dated for a year. And so and that was again because of all of those experiences that failed.
mm,
So many experiences that failed. I wanted to do it right.
yeah.
And for me, right was that way. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying for me. For me, that's what I had to do. And that's what he chose to do. And so, um, listen, almost 19 years later, we got 3 kids.
There you go.
So God is good. Has it been
Yeah.
easy? No. That's a whole nother show. It has not been easy. There's been um many a nights and many of discussions, and we like to call it what do we call it, intense fellowship. There's many of that, but yeah, I mean, we're 19 years in May. It'll be 19 years in May, and we're still here. And we started out with having a desire to do this love thing different than what we had seen it done, and different from um what I had done before. May
Mhm.
10.
Okay.
May 10.
Our anniversary is
Yeah,
May
Mother's
1st.
Day. It was Mother's Day weekend. I was like, why did I do that? Now years later, when the kids are coming up, it's like that was not smart. But it was May 10. Oh, sweet, 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 sweet. Yeah, so that is my journey. I think I've been talking almost 30. I don't know if there's more that you want me to delve into, I can, but honestly, um I can tell you from someone who did it one way and then did it a different way. I wish that I would have done it the latter from the very beginning. I'm serious. Like, there's nothing like finding someone that you know is for you and you are for him, or she is for you if it's a guy, and you say, you know what, we're gonna stick it out, and I'm gonna trust God. Like, so we've been trusting God from the beginning, right? We've been trusting God since we met,
That's beautiful.
because we decided to wait. We
That's
decided
beautiful.
to wait. And so it's not, thank you. I mean, to me, it could have been even more beautiful, but my story is my story. And I heard somebody recently say, like, if we try to change the things that we've been through, if it would have been different, maybe we really wouldn't have the testimony that we have if things had been different. And so, I honestly, it got to the place where I learned not to despise my process and despise the things that I've been through, because if I can overcome it, I can help someone else overcome it too. And
Yes.
that's the goal. Like, the stuff that you go through isn't always for you. Sometimes it's for you, but often, more than not, it's for somebody else.
Oh
And
yeah.
so if you can just endure the process and not despise it, and not despise the journey, and not want to do a do-over, and not, because literally we can anyway. So if you can just really embrace what you've been through and say, God, what can I get out of this? What lesson can I take out of this? It's not a loss. I'm not a loser, right? It's a lesson. So what lesson can I get out of this? And now I endeavor for my girls to wait. I endeavor to teach our son to respect. That is our goal. That is
Mhm.
our goal. So and why I have it from both sides. They know about the promiscuity, they know about the abortion, they know about failed relationships. The girls are 14 and 16. See, 14 and 16, I was fast. That was my love experience. Experiencing stuff I had no business when I was 14 and 16. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just to be able to say, this is what you don't do,
Yeah.
but let me show you what you do. We got
Mhm.
to make sure we balance it out, and then balance it out as far as, I'm glad I have a son so that I can say, listen, this is what you do and my husband, of course, because I can't raise a man.
Right.
I could be the best mom in the world, and he's a mama's boy, but I can't raise a man. So
Yeah.
and that's really where I was coming from too, with the thought, girls need their daddy. And see, I'm gonna even say this, it's kind of connected. When I lost my mom in November, um, I knew that it was important for me to get therapy, and I didn't start that right away. And so January, I think I was gonna get started, and just Sunday after Sunday, it was a group meeting that was meeting on Sundays, and life was just full. That's family day, right after church. You kind of do. We be in the country somewhere. We be, and so it's like it was just hard to do that. And I said, okay, Lord, what can I do? Because a group is better than no group. And so
Yeah.
I found an online group, and I've been going twice. Well, I've been twice. I've attended twice, and this last one actually. That we were sitting there and somebody said something, and it just sparked this idea of me being a daughter, right? Remember I said growing up without daddy. Now I know who my father is now. I found out who when I got married. So I was 29 when I
Wow.
found out who my biological father is. Yeah. And so yeah, I forgot about that piece. So, in that journey, getting married, that's when I found out. So and him and my mom gave me away at the wedding. So
Wow.
when my mom died, and going through that process, and then I'm sitting there at this last Sunday gone. I'm sitting here, and I look down, and there's something that says something about the Lord being a father. And I just thought about that song, Good, Good Father. And I thought how good he's been to me. And I really have been experiencing the love of God here more lately in the past 6 to 9 months than I have probably over my entire life of knowing him, having a relationship with him. And then I realized, not being as close to my dad, like I wish I was closer to him. And I know that probably has a lot to do with not growing up with him. I
Mhm.
honestly equated to that. Now I love him. He loves me. We go to Savannah often, all that, but I just wish it was different. Like I wish I had memories with him. I wish I had, the daddy dances. My husband has done that with our girls. I wish I would have had, the daddy laps and the daddy kisses and all that. I wish I would have had that, but that's not my story. I don't have that. And so I'm sitting here, and I was just thinking about how good the Lord is and how good he's been to me. He's a good, good father. And then I realized I'm a daughter because he's my father. I'm still a daughter. Even though there's sometimes it's like, okay, I don't have my mom and I'm not that close with my dad, but I'm still a daughter because he's father. And so, yeah, I guess for me, the love experience, I have to include the piece, not because my love experience is what it is because of the choices that I made, because of the way my life was. It wasn't my fault. I didn't have anything to do with their relationship and how it didn't work out. I didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with the fact that it wasn't really told to me until later. That's not my fault. I don't have
Mhm.
anything to do with that. But it had everything to do with the choices that I made.
Yeah.
The choices that I made that then created this love experience for me, that wasn't, that it was centered around such bad choices. It really was. And then it wasn't until later in life, late 20s, that I realized, man, I could have made some better choices. But having the choice of my husband has been the most incredible thing to my life. And so we, like I said, we have our challenges, but he really is my best friend. He just walked in. So he walked in on the middle of that. You weren't supposed to hear that, but whatever. But he is my best friend, and we can talk about anything. I can tell him anything. And he knows about my past. And here's the most incredible piece. He wanted someone totally the opposite. He really wanted that good girl, that clean girl. That's what he wanted. And I'm like, see, that's why I was hesitant in the beginning, because you ain't getting that if you want me, right? And so, but he still wanted me. And I want to even say to, like, listen, Ashley, you and I talked, and you said just flow, so I gotta flow. That's how it is, even with our relationship with God. We feel like we're so unclean,
Yeah.
and we're so dirty, and we've made so many poor choices. God can't possibly want me. Yes, he does.
Yes.
And yes, he can. And he will accept you just the way you are. Marcus accepted me just the way I was. Now, the bad choices were long gone, right? Long past. But he knew about the past, and he wanted me anyway. So God knows about our past, and he wants us anyway. Anyway.
Okay. Okay. I
You
have
had
to, I
all
gotta,
that, the kisses and the hugs that you felt like you were missing because of him. Yeah.
I gotta jump in. I have to jump in. And I'm gonna try to do this, type at the same time and say what I gotta say. Okay.
I don't
Because,
know what's up with her volume. So she's
okay.
she's she's texting me. The people can hear us, but that ain't nothing but the devil. You know it is, because listen, before we got on, y'all, I promise she and I we would chit chat, and we were chatting it up. And then as soon as we went live, womp womp womp.
Yes. So
But
your
my
husband
God. So
saw you
but yeah,
the
all
way
of the
he
kisses and the
has
hugs
seen
that I
you.
felt like you were missing because of him. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. My
Yeah.
husband saw me the way God sees me. Pretty much. Pretty
Yeah.
much. And the enemy, he tried, right? He tried to bring a severance. He tried several times, but it ain't gonna work. I plan to be married to that man for the rest of my life. It's not gonna work. And so I just really, from my experience, y'all, I really want to encourage you. If you are waiting for that mate, if you are waiting, don't let it become a weight. Don't let the WAIT become a weight. WEIGHT.
Mm.
Don't let it get weighty on you. Just be who God has called you to be. I told my kids, and I had a conversation the other day the way to school. I don't even remember where this came from, but I have taught them, mind your business. Keep your hands clean and your nose cleaner. And then on the way to school the other day, it started to click, like, you know what? That word mind is also a verb, meaning we can mind, tend to, be concerned about, care for.
Mhm.
So we need to tend to be concerned about, care for our business, whatever business God has called us to, whatever. I told you I was a purpose girl,
Mhm.
security, identity, purpose.
Yep.
See, that again, that comes the coffee with my king, the security. I wasn't secure in God. I didn't know
Mm.
who I didn't know him as daddy. I did not know who I was in Christ. So I wasn't secure in God. I didn't have my identity because I didn't naturally know who I was. I didn't have my daddy's last name. You see what I'm saying? I didn't
Yeah.
have that. And then purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So that's where that comes from. Take your sip. Security, identity, purpose. And so on my light, when I was like, why did something change? I don't know why that went out. So anyway, but yeah, so what was I saying before I said that? Okay, mind your business. Thank you, Lord. And so, and so I was telling them, you really also have to mind your business. Tend to be concerned about, make it your a purpose of yours, that you're going to be seeking out your purpose and doing the will of the Lord, doing the will of the Father, minding your business. And so that's what we endeavor to do. And so again, because of the way our relationship started, we have something that we can help our kids understand. This is what you want to do. These are the choices you want to make. And I'm not saying that I was like total bad girl and my husband was like this perfect gentleman, because he has his own story, right? He has his own experience. But anyway, so he saw the good girl you believed you weren't. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Because to my core, Ash, I really would like, and I don't say this like this is, I boast in God. I really do have a good heart. Like, I don't want to see any, I cry when people cry. And a lot of us are like that. I'm a feeler. I feel like the heartbeat of God. Like, that's just how he designed me. So I will pray or prophesy over somebody and be boo-hooing. Why? Because if they hurt, I hurt. So to my core, I really am a good kid. Now, I don't always make the right choices, right? Many of us don't.
Right.
But to my core, I love me some Jesus and I love me some Marcus. And I'm grateful and blessed that they love me back.
Yes. Yes.
They love me back. And I love how you said that. My husband saw me like God saw me. Yeah. Because Sonia saw something different. And it was all because of the love experiences that she allowed in her space. Yeah.
I so wish you could hear me. Okay. I'm gonna make this work, y'all. Okay. Man, for so long for me, um, for so long for me, I viewed myself, um, I viewed myself as not deserving. I'm talking to y'all and typing at the same time. Oh my gosh. This is good. This is practice. Okay. So it's not until recently, like recently,
Um,
um,
for so long for me, I view myself as not deserving. Oh, for sure.
yeah,
For sure. Um,
it's not
listen, when you like make bad choice after bad choice after bad choice after bad choice, you're like, God, right? You're like, but we're not damaged goods.
no.
We're not damaged goods. Even though we may start off a little rocky, you a diamond in the rough. I
Yes.
don't care what nobody say, right? One of my favorite scriptures is Lord, let the words of my mouth and the
And the
meditation of my
meditation of
heart
my
be
heart.
acceptable in your sight, oh Lord, my strength and my
Mhm.
redeemer. Because I would say things about myself.
Mhm.
I would down myself.
Mhm.
That's why in the beginning I didn't want to deal with Marcus, and it wasn't because there was something wrong with him. I thought there was something wrong with me, right? And so I didn't think I was deserving of him. And again, and here's what's funny. God is so very strategic. I was the total opposite of what he wanted. I came from a family structure, teenage mom, wasn't married. I'm predominantly raised by Nana. He comes from a two-family home who've been married, 30 something years, and
Okay.
siblings. You see what I'm saying? We were
Yeah.
like from two sides of the track. We were from two sides of the track. And so there were many things that I was totally green to as it related to family structure. I
Mhm.
love my family, but that's the reality. The things that he experienced, I had never experienced that. It was all new for me. So even us coming together was a miracle in and of itself. Like, God put oftentimes God will connect you with someone who's totally not what you thought, and you didn't
Yeah.
think that was what you wanted or what you needed. Because I told y'all, he thought that he wanted something different. And I believe he says that his father told him, no, she's good for you. Like, you need her. You think you need something else, but you need her. So his father, before he passed, he loved me. Like,
Mhm.
so even his dad saw something in me that was worthy of his son needing in his life. So but yeah, for a long time, it's not until recently that I'm coming into knowing what I deserve and that God wants to give that to me plus more. Absolutely.
Yes.
So I told you, especially since my mom passed, just feeling the love of God has been something that has been incredible and even overwhelming. I was on a clubhouse in a clubhouse room a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago, and someone prophesied over me, Jackie Fleming, powerful woman of God, and she just said so many things that really were affirming. And I said to God as I was getting ready to bed, God, it's like you keep affirming me. And I said it in a statement, but it really was a question. You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was really a question in my heart, even though when I said it, it sounded like a statement.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew I was questioning that, right? And so I immediately heard him say, does a father not affirm their child more than once? Like you don't tell your child, son, nice job. Honey, you look really pretty today. You only tell them that when they 5, and then you never say that to them ever again in their life.
Yeah.
No, you affirm them over and over and over again. Because guess what? If we don't affirm them, something or someone else will.
Yeah.
And it'll be the wrong thing. The
Yeah.
wrong people, place, and product is what I call it.
Yeah.
We'll try to affirm who they are and take them on a love journey, on a love experience that they have no business being on.
Yeah.
Right. So he affirms us, and we have to do the same with our children. And then we have to know that our experience is our experience. Your experience won't look like mine won't look like yours, but it is what it is. To God be the glory. Let us use it for his glory.
Yeah.
Period. So now I know I'm worthy of that. And like you said, and even more. And even on those days, because don't get it twisted, there are days when it's like, man, you start reminiscing, right? And you start thinking back, and the enemy start trying to replay
Mm-hmm.
the real over in your mind. Like, dang, if I would have did that different, if I wouldn't. Listen, for me, I'm living my life now to see that baby that I gave away when I get to heaven.
Mm.
That's it. And before my first child was born, we lost a baby, had a miscarriage. And of course, what's the first thought in my mind?
Because of what
Right?
I did.
God, because I did what I did, right? And
Mm-hmm.
before I got pregnant, it was, God, don't let the things that I did hinder me from getting pregnant. Okay. And then so when I got pregnant, it's like, okay. And then I lost the baby, and it's like, really? Right? So guess what? I mean, I'm past all that now, but so I'm living my life in such a way. When I get to heaven, I'm going to see the baby that I gave away, and I'm going to see the baby that I lost.
Yeah.
So our experiences, we gotta shift the way we think about it, and really, even when it's unrequited, and it was unrequited love. What does that mean? It wasn't reciprocated. I was giving them what I thought they would give me in return, and I didn't get it. And a man, let me say this, ladies, my bros, we know it's true. You can't be intimate with somebody and not be connected with them in any other way but that way. And
Oh,
not even really be connected with them in that way. Because I told y'all, Leah's my girl. Jacob wasn't connected to her heart to heart. He
mm-hmm.
wanted her sister. Her sister was beautiful. She wasn't labeled beautiful. So they could be intimate, but not be emotionally or spiritually intimate with you. So can he sleep with you and not love you?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
He can.
Mm-hmm.
He
Absolutely.
can. And you know what? I gotta balance it out, guys. If she's a player, because women can be that way. She can do it and not have any type of emotional connection to you. So it can happen. And I know we running low, so we have questions and comments for you. Okay. Yay.
I tested that theory
I don't know.
too.
How are we gonna do this?
Okay.
You tested that theory. Mm.
Yes. I tested that theory.
You talking about what I just said about the no connection? I think a lot of us have tested that theory. Actually, listen, we all have. Okay, how important is it to tell your children your history? I see so many parents refrain from telling their kids their story. Why? So for me, it was important because number one, I have to shame the devil and stop the curse. Like if the buck was gonna stop with me, I'm not gonna let the choices that I made fall on my kids and my kids make the same choice that I made. You have a daughter that has your eyes, a son that has your ears, your nose or whatever, right? They have those physical traits like you. Your children can also have those inner traits like you,
Oh, yes.
right? You mean just like your mama,
Yep.
right? You sassy, just you got you rough around the edges, just like your dad. You so hard, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's important for me now. You depending on their age, what right will determine exactly what needs to be shared.
Yeah.
But for me, I was not going, and I didn't sugarcoat when they got to that age. When they got to the appropriate age, my friend, that's when I said, okay, they could, because they didn't know, of course, when they were 5, they didn't know about an abortion. What I look like telling them, you see what I'm saying? So it's got to be age appropriate for them to understand these are the choices your mom and dad made and we want you to make something different. And this is why I'm telling you this so that you can make a different choice. I can't speak to why. So here, well, okay, Lord, maybe I can. A lot of times we don't want to tell the story or the full story because of shame, regret, fear of what they're going to think about us, fear of what they're going, they may look at us different. They may judge us differently because in their eyes, your mama, right? In their eyes, you my dad. And then to know that what? You did what? You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, I'm gonna be real transparent. In the beginning, it was like that, especially with my older daughter, you know. But now they really understand it's a part of my process and it's a part of who I am. So I can't be ashamed of it. I can't let shame and fear and regret and all. I cannot. And I was on in a clubhouse room the other day, and somebody was like, "Listen, shame and regret are like first cousins, and fear is the first is the brother. You know what I'm saying? They're all
Mhm.
family, but don't invite them to the family reunion. Do not let fear, regret, shame, all that stuff because it holds us hostage. No, devil, you're not gonna tell on me because I'm gonna tell on myself. I'm gonna tell my kids what I did so that the devil don't try to come and sneak a comment in there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to shut it down. So based on their age and based on what you feel like they can handle, that's me. Okay, that was for me, but that's what I would recommend. But I really feel like when people don't do that, it's because of those reasons: the fear of what they're going to believe, what they're going to think, how they're going to respond. I think that makes a difference. Letting your children find out from someone else creates an issue that wasn't there before. Exactly. The
Yeah.
story needs to come from you.
Yeah.
I don't listen. My cousin has no business telling my story. No, I got to tell my story because I'm the one that lived it.
Yep.
So, mom, dad, you tell your story. Don't let anyone come in and tell your kid how you were. No, 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 no. You tell it. Sonia, you are so encouraging to me, and you make me think differently and more positive about past and present things in my life. Bless God. That is, listen, that's the whole point, right? If nothing else, that's it.
Yeah.
If what I go through can help someone else not go through a similar thing, then I gotta do it. Then I gotta say, okay, God. And I gotta tell it, right? I gotta like take the muzzle off, come off mute, share my story, let it be known, not be ashamed, not be afraid, not be embarrassed, not let the enemy make me. No, if it helps not only my children but someone else's child, because you are someone else's child, so if that's gonna help somebody, then I'm gonna tell my story and God's gonna get the glory, period. Y'all, we hear that, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And we don't air all our laundry, right?
No.
There's some intimates, right, that we keep in,
Yes.
you put that in the dryer, right? But some stuff you
Yes.
can hang outside.
Yeah.
You can hang out, let it
Yeah.
air dry. You can hang it out for everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna tell it because, like Ashley, like you said, they hear it from someone else. They're gonna hear. They're not gonna. They're gonna hear a false representation of who I am.
They're
And
gonna
I would not
hear,
allow that.
yep, they're
I'm
gonna
not going
hear
to allow that.
everybody's issues they have with you. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. This is still going good. Even they're going to hear everybody's issues with you. Exactly. Oh my, you talking about if they hear it from somebody else? For
mhm.
sure. Because guess what? The story is going to represent them from like this great space. And they're gonna make you look crazy, right? No, we're not gonna do that. Okay. I love you cause see, it's very small on my side. I
Oh,
love you because you inspire me. Oh, I love you too. Thank you for sharing this. What did I say? And we need to work together. Yes, I can't. Who is that? Oh, that's my cousin Ida. Okay. I was like, I can't see the name. Yes, Ida, we do. So we need to do we could do an IG live or something. That would be cool. We can do that. Cause I see you on there Wednesdays at 6. I
yep.
see you. Thank you. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for coming to the love experience.
Listen, if you guys have any more comments or questions, please go ahead and get them in now.
I don't
Okay.
know. You talking to me?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
This is so
This is the
crazy.
craziest thing.
It's not like you got anything.
Listen, but the enemy didn't shut nothing down.
He did
Okay.
not.
He couldn't stop it.
No, he
He couldn't
didn't.
stop it. The message is still going out. Blessings. I love you both. Yay. Our food is coming. Talk to you later. Okay. Bye, Jess.
Yes, thank you, Jess, for popping in. Let's see. Thank you. You're welcome, Miss Alfreda.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for logging on. I'm so excited. I yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have any more stories I could come back again? Come back another day? Like, cause I really love this. This was so good.
You are
This is
so
so good. I'm
welcome for
so
being
very
back.
humbled, Ashley. Thank you so much for the invite. Shout out Jess for putting in the plug.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm so incredibly grateful. You know, we never know the things that people experience and the things that they go through, you know, and you
Mhm.
never know, something you say may help somebody else.
That is the whole purpose of this show. The entire purpose. I mean, that's the whole
Okay, good.
purpose
I'm
of
welcome
the
to come
show.
back. Yes. We gotta make sure we gotta, like, I don't know, do a test run before, like, do a pre-live show. You know how you do the pre-live show? We
Yes.
gotta do a pre-live show to make sure the enemy ain't all up in the airwaves, at least on this end anyway. Yes, please come back next week. She said come back next week.
We got somebody else coming next week, y'all. It's gonna be another good one.
I will come back
Um,
whenever she wants me back. She got probably someone lined up. What's next week? Yeah,
I
next
do.
week is April. We springing into a new month for real, y'all. That's right. This look is yeah. I'm just grateful that y'all can hear us on your side, because it's just super weird that I can't hear Ashley on my side and she can hear me, but I can't hear her. Like, what is
Yeah,
that? You see
that's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
What is
It's
that?
crazy.
Anyway, yeah, that's the
Okay.
whole purpose of this show. Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited and so glad. Any closing remarks? Um,
Oh, wait one
I
second.
okay. What advice would you give to the 16-year? Oh, that's such a good question.
Stay in your books and not books.
The advice that I would give 16-year-old Sonia, I would say wait. I would say wait. I would say I would say God has a plan for you. He has purpose for you. You can't see it now, but trust me, right? And it doesn't make sense, but trust me. One thing that I have, not just my oldest daughter, I think maybe the other two as well, but one thing I have shared with my oldest daughter. Are we out of time? I'm sorry,
Go
do I
ahead.
need to hush? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Is if you can't see it differently than what it is, no. If God won't change what it looks like, ask him to change how you see it.
Mm.
So, and really, I got that from, y'all remember that movie Wonder? Did you see that the little boy that had
Yeah.
he had his, okay. And so his older sister, Vita, whatever her name is, I can't remember. I had seen that movie many, many times. And one day a couple of years ago, my daughter had it playing in the front room, and I walked by and I sat down on the edge of the couch, and I'm just like really into the scene where the bully was bothering the little boy. Julian, I think his name was. And
Yeah.
his parents come to the school, and the principal is trying to understand why they're bullying this kid. And really, long story short, I don't want to tell the movie. The mom did something that she shouldn't have done. So it was the mom, not the kid. And so she made a statement. She said,
Yeah.
"Well, look at him. Like,
Yeah.
look at the way he looks." And the principal sits and he looks at it and he says, he can't help what he looks like, but you can help how you see him.
Yeah.
And so what I told my daughter, she was going through something really personal. And I said to her, when you pray and you ask God, if you're not going to change what it looks like, can you change the way I see it? And so I would say to the 16-year-old Sonia, you don't know what it looks like right now, but one day, right, it's not gonna look this way. You got to change how you see it.
Yeah.
You got to ask God to help you see it with different eyes. You got to get Sonia. You got to look at it differently. You got to look at it and not even for what you think it is, because you don't see it right. Like,
Yeah.
God has a plan and
Yep.
he has a purpose, and you just can't see it. But one day, when Jesus was teaching, and I'm gonna be quiet after this, when Jesus was teaching the disciples about servanthood, and he was washing feet, he was washing their feet. He said to them, "You don't understand what I'm doing right now, but one day you will."
Yep.
So I would have said to her, "You don't understand what's going on right now, but one day you will." Keep yourself.
Yes.
Keep yourself. That's what I would tell the 16-year-old Sonia.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. Yes. How can I connect with you? So I have a website, coffeewithmyking.com. It's coffee with a K. Um, and I don't know if you've been on here the whole time, Colleen, but it's coffee with a K because I have coffee chats. And what it is those are little conversations that stir us up to the things of God, stir us up to our security, identity, and purpose with God. So we take our sip. So the website, thank you, Ashley. I am also on Instagram, the same name. I have a Facebook page, the same name. And then on Instagram, I will do reels a couple of times a week. And then I have a clubhouse room on every Friday at 7. Exhale into the weekend. I love to do that. It feels like a weight comes off every time I do it. But exhale into the weekend, coffee chat with Coffee with My King. That's on Clubhouse. So I'm not on all platforms, and I don't know if I ever will be. But those are the places that he has it right now. So the website, Facebook, Instagram, and Clubhouse. That's where I hang out.
All right.
Yeah. So you're welcome, Alexander. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, wait.
How can I
Sorry.
connect? Okay.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
So
Thank you so much. Go ahead with your closing remarks.
okay. So I will say to you, this is one of the things that I talked about January. Oh, so one thing I do every other month, I have something called Coffee and Worship. And what that is, it's again those coffee chats, those conversations. And I have people that come and help me have live praise and worship. And we go into a cafe here in my area, because everybody may not come to a church, but they'll come to a cafe. And so we go to the cafe every other Saturday, second Saturday at 6. So we have it it's every other month though. So I just had one in January, I have one in March. The next one will be in May, whatever the second Saturday in May is, May 14th or something like that. And we have those as well. And those will be Facebook Live. If you're not in my city, if you're here in Augusta, it's at Eubora Coffee Roasters. Shout out to them. 1128 Jones Street. Those are my friends. And so, but yeah, that's every other month. We have that on the second Saturday of the month. And so those are super excited. I love those. So again, you're able to engage online on Facebook Live or come and meet us in the cafe. And what we talked about in January was I've kind of adopted this now as my life mantra. I endeavor to know God. I endeavor to know him in the pardon of my sin. I endeavor to know him intimately. When you know someone intimately, and we're talking about the love experience still, when you know someone intimately, you know them to their core. I remember, I think it was Creflo Dollar. He said, into me, see. Into me, see. Intimacy. That's what that is, right? So I endeavor to know God. I endeavor to be known by God. I want God to know me. I want him to, that's my daughter. He's affirmed me, right? So know God, be known by God. And then see, because we have that relationship, he knows that he can use me. And I won't despise my process. And I'll let him do whatever it is that he's doing in me and getting out of me, whatever it is he needs to get out of me. So I want to know God. I want to be known by God, and I want to make his deeds known. I want to tell my testimony. I want to share about the goodness of God. I want to help others to know that no matter where you are in life, you come to him as you are, but I promise you, you will not want to stay as you are. Because he'll know you, you'll know him, and you'll make his deeds known. And that's what I want to encourage everyone. Go and do the same. Go and do likewise.
All right, y'all. This was good. This was very, very good.
This is so awesome. It made my night. Yay! Praise God. Sleep well, sis. Sleep well. I love it. I love it.
All right, guys. I am so happy that you guys came and you hung in there with us. I apologize for the technical difficulties, whatever they may have been. Um, but thank you for coming, and please come back again next week,
Next
y'all,
week, you are
because
remarkable. Oh,
we,
you are remarkable. Thank you for. I'm so glad, y'all. I wish I could see it all. I guess this will be a replay, right? Like I'll be able
yeah,
to go. Yeah, good. I'll be able
yep.
to go and see because I don't see any. Like I had Facebook open. I don't know. It might be so. I am not super techie. Okay, let me just put that out there. I'm in need of tech support. That's why I can't hear. You know what, devil? Never mind. Never mind.
So listen, y'all.
Anyway.
Next week we got a great man of God coming on here. This is my homie Alex. He'll be on here and he will be sharing what he wants to share on his episode. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, so much for coming and hanging in there with us and not giving up because of the technical difficulties. And there's only one thing left. Well, actually, two things. If you want to be a guest on the Love Experience show, DM me. You find me anywhere at It's Ashley JW. DM me, let me know that you would like to be part of the Love Experience show, and I will set it up, hook y'all up, and set a date. Okay, a Thursday. And now there's only one thing left to say. What is your love experience? Until we chat next week, guys,